Welcome, beautiful buddies and gentlemen family. We're here after the FC Barcelona Newcastle game, set to review this game. And before we go into the tactics and even looking at the other games and so on, just want to say it's an impressive, very impressive victory here from FC Barcelona. I obviously predicted a 3-1. I thought it would be too tough for Barca, especially without Balde, without Gavi, without Lamine Yamal. But Barca managed to get the victory through the individual brilliance of Marcos Rashford. And I want to make the comparisons between the Barca and Newcastle, PSG Newcastle game where we lost 4-1 and this Barca game, because that was, the game I went for. That's where basically the prediction came from as well. And we saw that pressure. We saw how Newcastle put FC Barcelona in so many tough situations in the beginning of the game. We're looking at the huge save for Juan Garcia on Barnes, and obviously the ball inside from Elanga, which Gordon missed. That was a tough start. That was the wave of Newcastle. And Barca managed to live through it, through the saves of Juan Garcia. A little bit fortune, obviously, with Gordon missing that, because if he hit that on target, it would have probably been a goal, and it would have been a completely different game, because then it's 1-0. The Newcastle pressure starts going on to FC Barcelona. But as soon as Barca scored the goal, the game was over. You have to understand, teams like Newcastle and Arsenal that play terroristic, haram, set piece, 6-4 NFL sport football, when they go down, they have no individual ability to get them back into the game. They rely on set pieces, and Newcastle wasn't even good from set pieces today, surprisingly. I mean, it was complete garbage from Newcastle set pieces, something they're very dangerous from. But as said, that doesn't take anything away from FC Barcelona, who went to Newcastle. And one huge thing, it's about suffering. Me as a Paris Saint-Germain supporter, we won the UEFA Champions League last season, but we had to suffer. We suffered at Anfield. We suffered in that second leg versus Villa. We suffered in the first 20 minutes at the Parc des Princes versus Arsenal. But we didn't concede. We kept it going. And look at us now, we won the Champions League. And that's the big thing with Barca. Barca, when you look back at them last season, how many times did Barca actually suffer? The only time, apart from the Inter in the semi, I don't think they suffered in the groups. Yes, they lost to Monaco, but it wasn't really suffering like that. And then you could say maybe the second leg versus Dortmund, where they conceded 3 goals. Maybe suffering like that. But that was the only suffering, because of a little bit of an easy run they had into the knockout stages. But then again, it's Inter. They didn't suffer either. Why? Because Inter just parked the bus, played on the counter, and scored the goals. But this was a game where we saw Barca suffer, but not concede. Due to Juan Garcia, due to Koundé, due to Araujo, due to Kubarsi, Gerard Martin, and all the other players. And that's a huge thing, especially for the mentality. When you can suffer, it makes you even stronger. That's one thing that Luis Enrique, for example, is focusing at Paris Saint-Germain, making us better at suffering, making us better at defending, which makes you even better at attacking. Another thing is the adaptation from Flick. Hansi Flick at this point has to be watching my YouTube channel, because he's just listening to what I'm doing. I saw no fucking offside trap terrorist high line for one of the first times for FC Barcelona. Great decision by Hansi Flick. Great decision. Keep that going. You don't have to play a terrorist highline to win football. You just don't have to. And I know maybe it hurts Flick's ego a bit to adapt his style, which he feels is the best. I mean, you didn't play that football when you won the treble with Bayern in 2020. So why are you forcing on Barca at the moment? So none of the offside trap. And another thing was the time wasting. Again, all of these were mistakes from Barca losing to Inter last season in the UCL. And I saw time wasting. I saw Casado grabbing the guy's shirt. I saw substitutes. I saw time wasting. I saw the ball just being passed around, not trying to lead to anything. And these were the 2 question marks I had after Barca Inter last season. These were the 2 stuff when, if you ask me, can Barca win the UCL? I was like, I don't know. Because Barca shouldn't have lost to Inter. Barca shouldn't have conceded 7 goals. But because of the tactics of Hansi Flick and the offside trap and the high line and everything, it didn't work. But now we can already see the improvement. So I'm impressed. But now let's go into the game. Before that, we can just have some cheeky thoughts here about the other games. Monaco, completely fucking embarrassing. Liga, and just completely embarrassing. I mean, they had a pen. Achlios minced it early on, and then Club Brugge scored 4 goals. Leverkusen, Copenhagen. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a cheeky result. Leverkusen, second game for their new manager as well. Frankfurt beating Galatasaray 5-1. And Galatasaray invested a lot this summer. Osimhen didn't play? Is he injured? Oh, he's injured. I mean, that's usual Osimhen. They bought Singo from Monaco. We bought Gundogan, so washed, man. Lamina. Yeah, embarrassing. Napoli, City, I had this game on the side. City should do a little bit better. Napoli had the red card for a very long time this game, but they got the job done. That's what they had to do. Sporting, 4-1 over Kairat. Very predictable. And now we go into this game. Let's take a look at the stats here. 64% possession for FC Barcelona. Let's take a look at the difference between the first half and second half. No, actually, basically the same in both. 1.31 XG compared to 1.46 by Newcastle. What this shows is Newcastle should have done more. And what it also shows is the individual brilliance from Marcus Rashford, especially on that second goal. 19 shots to 10 shots, 6 shot on targets, 2 big chances each. Barca missed both. Wait, what? What big chances did Barca have that they missed? I think it's at least 0-14. Fermi Lopez, I don't remember this one. Okay, so that's a big chance missed. Another Barca big chance missed. This one maybe Rashford? Or was that... I don't remember that one. Rafinha maybe? Lewandowski. Oh, that was like a header, I think. Like easy for Pope to save. Okay. Yeah, it was a fairly even game. But this is where the individual brilliance comes in. And this is something I've said, for example, about Arsenal. Now I'll bring up Arsenal again. Individual brilliance is what makes you win the UEFA Champions League. It's the individual brilliance. What we saw from Rashford. And these Premier League teams lack the individual brilliance. They're too of a unit, too much of a robotic system. And when that goes away, when you need your star players to do something, there are no star players. Now let's go into the lineup. We'll talk a little bit about Newcastle. Pope made some good saves. Could have been worse. I remember a good shot from Olmo late in the game. Could have scored. Wow, Trippier and Sharp both got injured. Basically so much mid. Elanga was a little bit cheeky in the beginning of the game. Don't really know why he got subbed out so early as well. And stop this Gordon false nine. Just play him off the wing. Who's Barnes, man? Who's Harvey Barnes? Just play Voltmade, man. Stop overthinking. But yeah, just... And that's the thing with these teams. Like, yes, it was a tough game for Barca, but not because Newcastle is good. No, because they are a terroristic side. How tall is it? How tall is Joel Linton? Like 6'5", 6'6", 6'6". Just tough teams to beat. Similarly, once again to Arsenal, because Newcastle is basically Arsenal elite. And that's what Arteta copied his football from. These teams are tough to beat, but they're not good. They don't have good individuals. I mean, Bruno, if you put him at PSG, he would look good. Tonali, if you put him at Madrid, he would look good. But Newcastle, the system they play and all of that is... Yeah. Now we're coming to Barca. Juan Garcia has saved Barca so many times this season. I was like, I'm going to be the hero once again. And if it wasn't for Rashford's heroics offensively, Garcia would probably be my man of the match. I thought Koundé was good as well defensively, and obviously great assist for that Marcus Rashford goal. I thought Araujo was good today. His physicality, his athleticism was important for FC Barcelona in this game. Kubarsi, decent game from him. Gerard Martin, decent game from him. That was against Elanga as well, who went for 70 million to Newcastle. So good game there from Gerard Martin. De Jong, I mean, you see this 99 and 86, but very unimpactful player. Pedri started coming more into the game towards the end, and it was a good game from Pedri. Rafinha, I thought he had a good game. 4 chances created. He was a little bit lively from that right-hand side. Obviously, Rafinha being forced to play in a different way. Rashford basically played more as the Rafinha on that left side, whilst Rashford was playing a little bit more as a Yamal with the playmaking. Let me look at his dribble attempts. 2 out of 3. Yeah. Fermi Lopez was really not good this game. And that's the thing, this is something I often see Barca fans as well saying, like Fermin sometimes can have a really great game as the Valencia game, or can have a complete stinker in this game. I don't remember a single thing from Fermin Lopez this game. Lost the most dose in the game as well, so not the best performance from him. Lewandowski obviously still trying to come back from injury, didn't get that much service. He's obviously a striker, target man, service is his job, didn't really get it. And then it's Marcus Rashford. The first goal, great cross from Jules Koundé, and Rashford just smacks it in. And then the second goal. I'm seeing Rashford outside of the box. No Barca players moving around. I'm just seeing Rashford. I'm like, what is he doing? Takes the touch and smacks it in. Top left. And that's how Barca won the game. It was individual brilliance from Marcus Rashford. And I actually tweeted this. I was like, especially Barca fans, how much they glaze Yamal 24/7. I mean, Yamal wasn't playing the game, but I saw Yamal's name so many times on Twitter because, you know, Barca fans just cannot go without talking about him. And my question is, Rashford, what he gave you today, do you really not think this is like better than most of Yamal's performances? Because it's about the efficiency. And people say, oh, efficient is not good. No, for example, Messi, the greatest of all time, he was the most efficient player of all time. It's about doing the most from the touches that you have. Yes, Messi had a lot of the ball because he could do so much in a game. And I just think Barca looks more efficient this game and looks more efficient in the Valencia game as well. And because this is something I would say happened after the Inter game. I think before the Inter game, we didn't see that much. But after the Inter game, Barca just became like Barca was under Messi in 18-19. The issue is Barca in 18-19 was ass. They had to do everything around Messi. And Messi obviously much greater than Yamal. But now I don't understand it. They're like building the team and forcing everything through Yamal when he isn't that good and when there's so many other great players in the team. It's not coincident that Rashford's best two performances have been in the last two games where Yamal has not played. Rafinha has been good in both games as well. And this is not me slandering Yamal, completely not. This is me slandering FC Barcelona and Hansi Flick for the forceful playment of Lamine Yamal. Telling Yamal, or maybe Yamal does it himself, but giving Yamal the ball all the time and him taking 10 shots and 20 dribbles attempted, it's not really, I mean, we saw it last year versus Inter, one goal in, 240 minutes combined or something in both legs. Less, 220 minutes. That was just an opinion I had. But overall, as I said, impressive performance from FC Barcelona. Going away to St. James Park. I was one of the people before the game PSG played them. I'm like, what? St. James Park? What are these Premier League fans talking about? And I got humbled. And obviously, there were a lot of Barca fans that I saw that thought Barca would win by a big margin. Obviously, very deluded. But my opinion was always either Newcastle win or Barca win. Tied victory. And that's exactly what Barca managed to do. And yeah, the biggest thing for me was the suffering. Barca suffered a lot, especially in that first half, but did not concede a goal. And that is very important in winning UEFA Champions Leagues. I mean, Real Madrid, the club with the most Champions Leagues, are probably the best teams to suffer. We've seen Madrid suffer in so many games, be complete ass, but they somehow don't concede the goal. And then they go on and score and win the game. It was a Real Madrid-esque performance from FC Barcelona. It really didn't look like the usual Hansi Flick FC Barcelona. We didn't see insane press. We didn't see insane high line. We didn't see that. No, we saw a little bit of a more conservative Hansi Flick, which should be a good sign for FC Barcelona going into the future. I think the beginning of the season definitely put a lot of question marks on Hansi Flick's football. And Hansi Flick, respect to him, he looked at himself, he looked at his tactics and saw, you know what, we got to do some adaptment. And Barcelona got the 3 points. Finishing off with the UEFA Champions League table right here. Frankfurt, Paris Saint-Germain, Club Brugge, Sporting, Union Saint-Gilloise, Bayern München, Arsenal, Inter, City, Karabakh, Liverpool, FC Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Tottenham Hotspurs pick up 3 points in the first match week. Here are the draws, here are the defeats. Great first match week of the UEFA Champions League, and obviously Paris Saint-Germain are set to face FC Barcelona in the Champions League on the 1st of October. We're not that far off. 2 weeks off the game versus FC Barcelona with Paris Saint-Germain playing Marseille. And then we have the big Ballon d'Or ceremony, which I'm very excited for. So exciting times to have. Very exciting game coming up between the two clubs. That's been it from my boy PSG. And hopefully, guys, have enjoyed this full reaction of FC Barcelona versus Newcastle. And as usual, allez Paris.